All right, hey guys. So today we're just going to go through some questions that people sent in, and kind of these are mostly just general like training questions. I think you know that a lot of people when they first start out in jiu-jitsu, they don't have a lot of guidance as into like what are good general training practices. How often should I train? How hard should I be training? Who should I be training with? How should I go about it? And I think these were a couple really good ones, so we'll try to get through them today for our first episode until your usual host Sonny gets back next time. So the first one was, what should I do if I feel like I know how to technically do a move step by step, but when I try to do it live against an opponent, I'm not able to successfully complete a move? And a lot of times when I see this problem, I observe these people and I realize what's happening is they're rolling with people who are either at their own skill level or higher, and they're thinking that these new moves that they're learning are going to be these new weapons that they can employ against these people and be successful. And really, like any other tool that we're learning to use, we have to be really careful about, you know, learning to use it the right way before we go out and try to like complete some kind of task with it. So when you learn a new move, I think it's best to practice your moves on lower belts, people who are not as skilled as you are, who you can easily defeat, and try to make it intentional and only focus on doing that one move to them. Because against a person who's not as skilled as you, you should be able to do whatever move that you want to do. And if you can't, then that's probably not a move that you should stay with, right? So I think if you're having that issue, focus on training with people who are not as skilled as you, and probably people who are smaller than you too, because managing a large person who's not as skilled as you is sometimes just as difficult as dealing with a skilled person who's the same size. So pick your opponents really carefully when you're trying to train with intention like that. And we have one more question from one of our students about what to do if they feel like they are not able to stop somebody from passing their guard. This is actually a more complex question than I think the student realized, because when you feel like you're rolling in the gym and you can't stop somebody from passing your guard, well, it's the gym. It doesn't matter. Maybe what you should do is stop rolling and ask that person how they're passing you, and evaluate. Maybe you're making a really obvious, crucial technical error that that person is exploiting, and you just don't realize that it's an error. So that could be one thing that you could do. But the other thing that you can always do is try to change the situation somehow. A lot of times if someone is passing you over and over again, it's because you're staying in the same guard, right? If someone's really good at passing, let's say a half guard, I'm not going to continually pull them into my half guard. I'm going to probably try to put them in my full guard or something else that feels more secure that maybe they're not used to. Maybe I'll even switch sides. Maybe I'm sitting on the floor facing my left and they keep passing me, and as soon as I switch to the right, maybe they're just not as good as that at that side. In fact, that's probably more common for people to favor one side versus the other. So things as simple as switching sides or changing the guard that you're in can really be an impediment to your opponent passing you more and more. But I actually heard Sonny today in one of his private lessons go over something else that can help a lot when someone's continually passing your guard. And his advice was this: always be attacking that person. Because if I have a situation where, let's say I put a target up on the wall and I have a basket full of tennis balls and I'm trying to hit that target. If you give me long enough and I just keep chucking balls at that target, I'm going to hit it. But if the situation is different, if I'm put under some kind of pressure and I can't just try over and over and over again to complete a goal, I'm not going to be as successful. And that's what the situation you're in with your opponent when they're continually trying to pass guard on you. And you might stop them the first 9 times, but the 10th time they're going to get you because they figured you out. They've gotten good at it from so many reps. You can't give them that ability to just continually launch attacks at you. You have to be attacking them. That means pulling them, pushing them, trying to make them trip, trying to sweep them, trying to do submissions from the bottom. If you're constantly attacking your opponent and they're constantly defending, a lot of times they're not going to have the ability to focus on passing you. So I think those are my 2 big pieces of advice I would give you guys. And that's probably all the time we have for this first episode. But next time your usual host will be back, Sonny Parlin. So send your questions in with anything you guys want to go over next week.